Hi.
Hi! Yes, another successfully awkward start to a show. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to gingerrun Live, episode number 134. One of our favorite episodes to do. Viewer inspiration, viewer mail. That is happening tonight. It's been a long time since we've done this. Over a month and a half, almost 2 months, I think, since we did the last one of that. One of these. So really excited. Tonight, I have so many stories from you, the viewers, that you wrote me just today, and even some that trickled in over the last couple of weeks. We'll be reading as many of these as we can get through tonight to help maybe reinvigorate, re-inspire as we move into the fall months and winter months. Maybe it'll get you to get back out there if you are suffering from any sort of like lack of motivation, which we've talked about on the show recently too. But also just to show you that anything is possible. We have stories from all levels of runners and athletes here, and it's always a really fun time to read through them and read people's stories and find out what they're up to. So I'm Ethan.
And I'm Kim.
And Kim will be in the chat room all night, of course.
Yep. So if you have questions, I guess if you guys have questions for Ethan or myself, or if there's other stories to share, you can share them in there. I'll be keeping my eye in there. People are already freaking out about the no beard.
Oh my God, the beard's gone. And so much more. Welcome everyone to gingerrun Live.
Ginger Runner.
Yay! Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to gingerrun Live, our favorite day of the week, and hopefully yours as well. If your favorite day happens to be Friday or Saturday, we understand, because it's the weekend. But tonight, on tonight's episode, we are doing it once again. This is one of our favorite things to do now that we started doing it. I guess this is the fourth one we've done, but we started doing it this year. It's kind of the first time we've done it. Episodes that deal specifically with inspiration and viewer mail. There are so many viewers that come back week after week, or maybe even just are tuning in for the first time. But everyone has a different story, whether it's a race they just ran or how they got into running or something that maybe has inspired them. And so what I do is usually the day of or the weeks leading up to that episode, we ask for your stories. And tonight we have a lot of stories. We'll try to get through as many as possible. These are really fun because we just kind of get to hang out and share stories that you guys submit and drink beer. And tonight we're drinking one of our favorites.
Yep.
Yeah, we really have fallen in love with this one. It's too bad that Ballast Point got bought out by the big company. The beer is still delicious. So I'm excited about tonight's show. I like these.
This is kind of our opportunity to get to know you guys and kind of put stories to the names that we see in the chat room every week or that we see across social media. So like Ethan said, one of our favorite shows to do.
We always look forward to it. And tonight is no exception. The stories that I've kind of glanced through are amazing. If you are watching this episode live, or maybe you're watching an archive version, you can still submit your stories. Hopefully we'll get to them tonight, or we'll get to them in a future episode, because I, again, would like to do these more frequently. You can just email the gingerrun or Gmail and use the subject viewer mail. Do that, and it'll help filter it all out. Or if you're watching live, jump into the chat room, because Kim is in there. What's going on in the chat room?
Theodore K2 asked, who bought Ballast? Do you know? Isn't it
A Beverage Anheuser? Is it AB Beverage?
No, maybe not.
Anheuser-Busch? One of the big ones. I actually forget. A quick Google search will pull it up. But yeah, they got bought out. It may have been like a buyout or a partnership stock thing. I forget what it was. But it made me go, oh, you don't want to.
It's kind of a bummer.
It was a bummer because the brand is just, well, obviously it's blown up because now they have the marketing budget to fall behind it.
Find Your Path says, Ethan looking so fresh and so clean.
Yeah, I trimmed it today. I woke up this morning. I've been thinking about it for the last couple of weeks. Decided to give it a trim. And I realized just even looking into the camera, I am nowhere near. I'm basically sitting next to like the hottest chick ever. I don't deserve to be in the presence of this. So I figure I'll be the comic relief tonight, and Kim will be the voice of reason.
People are loving your look tonight.
Oh, thanks.
I think somebody said that. I don't know where it went, but somebody said the hair is so lively tonight. Your hair, not mine.
I think both. It is. Wow, it's so spiky. Look at all that hair tonight.
It's a little floofy.
It is really floofy. Oh my God, it's not getting any better. That's the worst thing I could do. All right, guys, spiky hair tonight. Deal with it. Spiky hair and no beard. I decided to trim the beard.
Did you put it on your hair?
I did. Yeah, I taped it to the top of my head. Okay, so before we even get into the story, yeah, if you guys are in the live chat room, keep the dialogue going. Kim will be in there, and feel free to interrupt me at any point because I know that the dialogue always gets lively. So before we even get into the show tonight, a lot has happened in ultra running in the last week. Alone, a lot. Very recently, this weekend, yesterday, Carl Meltzer set a new FKT on the Appalachian Trail, which is a giant 2,500-mile trail on the east coast of the United States. A new FKT of 45 days, basically beat the old FKT by 2 hours, I think, or something like that, which I think is close to like 1% or something like that over the whole scheme of things. It's crazy that it comes down to hours. But yeah, he did it. He said it. And this has been a project that I guess has been in his wheelhouse for years. It's his third attempt at setting the FKT.
9 hours has got to go fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was nine and some change that it was beat by.
Oh, 9 hours.
I think so.
Not 2 hours.
I thought I read 9 and something, and somebody else is.
I don't have the article in front of me. 9 hours. Yeah, that's my bad on the math side of things. I've reached out, and hopefully we'll get him on a future episode here in the next week or two, just because he's such a nice dude. It would be awesome to actually sit down and talk to him a little bit about the effort.
The thing that really surprised me, and not to take away from how amazing this was clicking on the articles and reading like the New York Times article and this and that. There was so many negative comments on there.
Yeah.
Like a really big bummer because this is such a huge accomplishment.
People don't get it.
Right.
There are people like, how can you do that? That's 47 miles a day for 45 days. That's not possible.
You're not enjoying the trails the way they're meant to.
I read that one too, and I was like, oh boy, you're talking about a guy who's probably spent more time on that trail than any other human. Yeah. Well, that's not necessarily true because I know that there are other people out there, including AT, who may be going for the new FKT. But there are people out there that spend a lot of time on that trail. But Carl and Scott Jurek and AT and all these other guys and girls that are out there, setting FKTs, it's not like a one and done effort. They've been doing this stuff for years and like working at it, and they know every inch of that trail. So it's not like they're not enjoying it.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that comment too. That kind of bummed me out.
But huge congratulations to
Carl.
Carl.
Yeah. Alex Nichols and Courtney DeWalter. I think I'm probably mispronouncing her last name. Not Rocky Raccoon. Run Rabbit Run. There are a lot of R's. Run Rabbit Run 100, and the prize purses are amazing for that race. I think it's $12,000 or something for first place men and women. Yeah, good cash purse. And that was Alex's first 100. Which is amazing. We'll have to get him on the show because people have said, it's been a while, but people have said he's just the nicest guy. I don't think I've met him in person. I may have met him in Flagstaff. But yeah, just the nicest guy. So we got to get him on a show too. Megan Hicks with a Nolan's 14 accomplishment, sub 60 hour. I believe it's an FKT for trailhead to trailhead. I don't necessarily know the logistics of Nolan's 14 other than tapping 14ers in a certain allotted time period. But this is a project she'd been wanting to accomplish forever. And she managed to do that after a huge summer of travel plus hard rock and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So she is currently in Europe, but we're going to try to get her on the show. Hopefully our schedules can coincide. So we're in talking with that. And of course, Andy Pearson and Guillaume Calmette, two friends of ours, as well as guests from the show from previous episodes. Andy Pearson won the Mogollon Monster 100 this weekend, which is a gnarly course, I guess.
And a gnarly trophy.
Oh my God, the trophy is terrifying. It's a Sasquatch. It's about that big. And Andy posted a photo of it sitting in the passenger seat with the seatbelt wrapped around it. Essentially, it's a small child, and people were joking that he could go into the carpool lane with it. And I do not doubt that he could. It is that big. And I believe his wife was like,
we don't have room for that.
That's not coming in the house. That's not coming in the house. Understandably so. It is a terrifying monster of a trophy. And Guillaume Calmette, third place at Kodiak 100, which fresh off of AC 100 win. It's amazing. Guy's got legs. I'm going to put this out there. Before we start getting into the stories, which we're going to do here right now. This dawned on me this weekend after following Run Rabbit Run. And I want to put it out there into the world because I think I would like for it to come to fruition just for his sake. Jeff Browning, I'm going to put it out there that he deserves Ultra Runner of the Year. Looking back for the last year, since this coming weekend last year, this coming weekend last year was UTMF, Ultra Trail Mount Fuji. That same race is coming up next weekend. He placed third in that last year. And since that race, won Hurt 100 in January. I'm sure there's also other things in here that I'm missing. He finished his project, the Oahe, Oregon Trail, that trail in Oregon that we brought him on to talk to him and Jesse about, as well as third place at Western States, followed by fourth place at Hard Rock 100, now followed again by fourth place at Run Rabbit Run. So in my mind, I'm like, those are huge efforts on extremely difficult 100-milers. UTMF, followed by Hurt, followed by Western, followed by Hard Rock, and now Run Rabbit Run. And placing podium in almost every single one of those, if not winning it, is like, this guy has been doing this for so long. It's worthy of note that he has accomplished so much in the last 365 days.
It's also he's one of my favorite people, I think, to watch race. Because he's not necessarily going to be leading the pack, from the get-go. He's very patient and very smart and very seasoned. And
it is awesome to witness because he is so patient. And I think we can all learn from that, no matter where we are in the pack. You don't have to be the first out. You don't have to be the first for the first half of a race. You can be patiently in, for most of these races, he was sitting in the teens, 15th to 18th place, just chilling, being patient, knowing exactly what he's capable of doing and just kind of hanging, and then just progressing as people begin to blow up. It's a pretty amazing thing to witness. And he always finishes the race just steady, solid. It's obviously testament to his training and his recovery and his ability as a seasoned ultra runner. So I'm putting that out there.
And people in the chat room are right now commenting on Jeff's age. He's a master.
He's masters.
He's in his 40s and he's killing it.
So if that gives us and he has like a full-time job and family and just if that gives us any hope, I'll take it. You know, I think it's pretty awesome. So I'm going to put that out there. I don't know how the Ultra Runner of the Year awards work. I don't know who chooses. I'm sure it's arbitrary. I'm sure there's politics. But I want to put it out there for him. I don't. It could be
like point formula or something.
Yeah, I think every race has some sort of point value attributed to it. Depending on how you finish in specific races, could move you up the standing. But I'm going to be the first to say it. I really just wanted to be the first person to put that out there.
Okay. We heard you loud and clear.
Okay, good. Tonight's episode is about inspiration and viewer mail. You have continued to inspire us throughout the entire creation of Ginger Runner, the whole YouTube channel and everything. We love receiving your emails and your feedback, your questions. And so that's what tonight's episode really is all about. I have received stories since the last episode that we did of viewer mail and inspiration, which I believe was back in July. I've received a number, and some of them I will not be able to get to because we do have a bunch that were specific for tonight. And some of them are a little bit longer, and I'm going to try to read those in their entirety. Some of them might have to verbally edit because there is profanity in some of them. But we're going to start all the way back in August, early August. Sinclair Price, Peary. I don't know why I said Price. I was thinking Chris Price. Sinclair wrote us a wonderful email. Good evening, Ethan, Kim, and Gus.
He's down there.
He's down there sleeping, snoozing. That's what he does during Ginger Runner Live. Sons. Just the worst. Good evening, Ethan, Kim, and Gus. I love the show and have been watching and listening regularly for a while now. Keep up the great work. I'd like to share my story so far. I started off a couple of years ago after a trip to the doctor for a biannual work-related medical. My doctor told me I needed to shift some weight, not as your obese way, but it's that my weight has been increasing over a few visits. I had tried running before, but when I took it from the treadmill to roads, I kept going too hard and blowing up, so this was my second visit to running. I work on merchant ships, so training at work is on treadmills and stairs. This makes getting distance tough. An hour on the treadmill is really dull. I was getting up to the 10K distance once a month, but was getting a bit disillusioned with things. The weight was coming up, but I had no real aims or goals. I was messing around with Googling things and stumbled across the Ginger Runner channel on YouTube. I watched some reviews and some episodes, got hooked big time. I tuned in to my first live episode, which was number 98, which I don't know, that's actually a while ago.
Yeah.
And I think it was, and had a question regarding Mike Wolf. I was stoked. I realized that, as you keep saying, I needed goals. So I sat down and thought what I wanted to achieve. I had to research what races to run and where I lived. I live in Orkney, which is a group of islands to the north of Scotland with a very small population, so I knew local races would be limited. There's no park run event close by. The nearest is a ferry and 3-hour drive away. I found out that one of my best mates is a runner, which I never knew. So we went out in 2015, running mainly half marathon distances on the weekends and in the summer. We continue to go out now and again, but at present, he's in the middle of 4 marathons and an ultra during the summer. None of these married up with my time off, or I would have joined him. Also in 2015, I joined a website called The Running Bug, who have some competitions and events throughout the year. As a part of one of these competitions, members were put into teams to compete against other teams from the site. The team I was put on has continued up to today, inspiring each other and helping one another, despite hardly any of us physically meeting. We organize our own monthly competitions and events. It's been really good motivation. A big shout out to Team Ignite. Shout out to Team Ignite. In 2015, I set myself a goal of running a marathon as soon as I could fit it in. I was hoping for 2016, but scheduling of races and my time off has meant that I haven't managed to do this. I only managed to run my first 10K race on the 23rd of July with a new PR of 49 minutes and 6 seconds. I have entered a half marathon on the 21st of August. My long-term goals are to run a marathon next year. My long shot is London, but I've got 4 in mind around Scotland as well. My other goal is to run an ultra as soon as I feel ready to, hopefully in 2017, but if not, maybe 2018. I was looking at this year, but I'm just not managing to get the miles in at work on the treadmills. I've peaked at 13.1 miles on the treadmill without running out of time between shifts to cool down and sleep. Many thanks for all you do and inspiration you've given me. Without your channel, I think I'd have given up running for a second time. Instead of giving up, I find weekly inspiration to keep going as far and as fast as I physically can. I listen to the podcast. Whoa. My mouse just like went all the way down there. I listen to the podcast and I have both albums, which I use on my long runs. I find the stories from the mid-pack, back-of-the-pack runners hugely inspiring, as these runners face more of the same challenges I face, and how they get past them is a huge benefit to me. The elite runner stories are equally as inspiring, though they are at a level I can only dream of. Thanks again, Sinclair. Sinclair, that's awesome. It's incredible to hear the stories of people training through and in situations that don't lend themselves to training, like being on a merchant ship.
Right.
Training on a treadmill and in stairwells.
And just treadmill training, period.
It's tough.
And that's what a lot of the people in the chat room are like, 13.1 on a treadmill? Woof.
Yeah.
It's like that's dedication. And that, that's impressive to me, because I don't do well on the treadmill myself.
Oh, no, me neither. Oh, no. I mean, a huge reason as to why trail running has just become such a thing for us is like it gets you outside into places that are just beautiful, even the trails in Los Angeles that are just outside of this, like in the city where you wouldn't think it's really beautiful, you still find those views. It's still a lot of fun. So thank you, Sinclair, for the story. I actually want to find out how your race went. So you said it was August 25th. Write me another email, or I doubt you're watching live because you're probably on a boat, but if you're listening to the podcast or something, drop me an email and let me know how you did, because I'm super curious, as I'm sure the live viewers would be really curious.
And we are always excited to hear follow-ups from you guys too. Like sometimes you guys will reach out and say, hey, like I have my first, 5K, or I have my first ultra coming up. We always are interested in hearing how that went. Always.
We've had people in the chat room one week say, next week is my first 50K. And then they'll come back into the chat room and say, my 50K went great. Or, we love hearing that follow-up, because, we want to know how you guys are doing. All right. So this next email comes from Alexander Klevin. Dear Ethan, Kim, and Gus. I like that people are including Gus now.
And somebody in the chat room said Gus inspired them. I don't know if they're talking about our Gus.
There's many Gus's that watch this show. We get it all the time. I'm like, that's my name. Maybe it's our dog.
Maybe.
Some people are watching this for the first time going, who the hell is Gus? We have a son, and his name is Gus, short for asparagus, and he's a dog. That's it. Deal with it. Alexander, dear Ethan, Kim, and Gus. I am a former track and field runner, now 30 years old, who came back into running after finishing university. I now run to keep fit, be outdoors, and to clear my head. Yesterday, I finished my first half marathon at the Oslo Marathon, and I owe a huge thanks to you. I started watching your videos about a month ago and have enjoyed all of your great tips on gear, nutrition, and running in general. I find so much inspiration in your videos, and they were what pushed me to sign up for the half marathon, 9 days before the race, mind you. Got a few long runs in and just did it. I kept the pace low and got to the finish line with enough energy to sprint the last kilometer. What a feeling. In the spirit of train hard, race harder, and party the hardest, I am sending you a picture of my post-race beer, Lagen. That reads, a light ale for those with tired feet. Best regards from sunny Oslo, Norway. And they did send a photo. Alexander, this is Alexander's bib and shirt, and that is the Lagen. I'm told it's just probably just Lagen. Just mispronouncing it. But congratulations, Alexander. That is awesome. We love hearing about first-time stories. I think that's amazing. And to sign up 9 days before the race, too, it's just like, they're just going, I don't care. I just want to do this.
Yeah.
Which I think is such a great mentality. Just screw it. Whatever happens.
There's something to be said for signing up for a race last minute. I signed up for Leona Divide, which has been one of my best races to date.
Yep.
And we signed up the week of. And it was, I think there's something to be said for kind of just signing up and just being like, let's do this.
Yeah. And we kind of just did that even recently. Like, we haven't had many races scheduled this fall because my A race, because of the injury, was like, I have to, not start. And it's just brought my racing morale down. And I haven't been able to really do much big mileages like I've been wanting to, which is, it's a huge mental blow just to go, I'm not able to train at the same distances that I was able to before, purely because of an injury, and things are progressing. So hopefully this is all temporary. But we just signed up for our first 12-hour event.
Yeah, in an effort to kind of spice up our running life, we decided to do something a little bit last minute-ish and a little bit...
We have a month.
It's very different than anything we've ever done. And
completely.
Kind of something that feels like it might drive me crazy, but also be really challenging and really fun.
It's a 12-hour race, which many people who watch the show have done similar 3-hour, 6-hour, 12-hour, 24-hour. They have events like this where they give you a time limit and they just give you a course. In many cases, it's just a track. It's like a high school track, quarter-mile loop, and you just do hundreds and hundreds of loops. In this case, it's a 1.9 mile
loop
trail
with 440 feet of gain or something like that per loop.
Yeah, which is essentially 1 mile is going to get 440 feet of gain, and then 1 mile is the same descent.
So we're going to do that for 12 hours.
We're going to do 12 hours. We're like, should we just do the 6-hour? Because we haven't done anything big since early summer, since Sun Mountain, and we're both like, nah, we're going 12 hours. It's next month. It's in Seattle. If you are in the Seattle area, please come out, because this will be a great event to spectate.
Yeah, come bring us candy.
But there will be plenty of candy there. You will be able to see us 1,000 times, depending on how many loops.
Joe Riggs in the chat room said, I ran my first 50K this past weekend, the Barkley Fall Classic 50K.
Nice. We've talked about wanting to run that. For those not familiar, the Barkley Fall Classic is the baby mini micro version of the Barkley Marathon. Right. We've been told that it is in the same forest, but it is all on marked trails. You don't have to navigate your way through it. There's no books to collect, but it goes through the prison, which we were like, what? There's an abandoned prison. It is creepy. It is awful. But I heard this race, you go into one of the underground rooms to collect one thing to prove that you went down there. So yeah, keep us posted here. Is that from Joe? How that went for you, because we've been really interested in doing that. It kicked
my butt. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I bet
it
was.
Yeah, Laz is no joke. I can't imagine any of his races fail to meet expectations. This next story is from Ashley Kelly. I just wanted to share that I hit kind of a rough patch during training recently. For a month, I didn't seem to be recovering well from my runs. I was exhausted all the time, and what felt like was my 100% best effort was my old slower 70% effort. I couldn't get my speed up, and I just felt run down. Finally, after a month of this and getting very, very discouraged, things changed. I went out and ran my race and felt awesome. I was way faster than I had been before the slump. I placed and hit a few PRs that I had been trying to hit for a while. My point being that it's important to keep pushing through. Even when it feels like things aren't going well, because eventually you will see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it will be worth all the struggle. Ash. We've been talking about this even just here recently. Kind of like Kim, you just posted yesterday, just feeling the lack of motivation. in some regards to your running, and you posted the photo and stuff like that. We went for our run yesterday together, and it was just kind of, we were just lollygagging with each other. It was more about just having fun than it was distance or time or anything like that. But we've been talking about that too, just kind of feeling that lack of the spark that you feel when you're like something's new, and like a distance is new, or you're training for something big. You feel this like energy, this spark that just drives you, and like your whole world becomes about that one thing. But we've been talking about how it's just, the motivation to get out for longer runs or for certain training runs has just been like, I'll put it off till tomorrow. Or
there's been many times in the last couple of weeks that Ethan's been like, okay, like I'm gonna go to the park, or I'm gonna go for a run. I just kind of been like, bye. Like it just hasn't been in me to go do it, which I think is totally fine. I think it's totally fine to take breaks.
I also think you're on your tick bite antibiotics. So
I'm finally free. But yeah, I think it's totally normal.
Totally normal. And I think what Ash did here is maybe that's a rut killer. Is just screw it. Sign up for a race, go do it, and maybe you'll surprise yourself. Seems like she surprised herself. Congratulations, Ash. It sounds awesome. Congratulations on getting the PRs, and you placed, which I think is amazing. More details. All right. What's going on in the chat? I feel like there's got to be.
Kimosabi says, I think Ethan is ready to tackle a 200 miler. Something new.
Candace has reached out. Candace Burt is one of the race directors of the Bigfoot 200 as well as the Tahoe 200. These races are monsters. She was like, hey, would you be interested in wanting to do one of these races? And I was like, yeah, in 2025. Let's talk about it in 2025. I have only done 100, and I would really like to do another 100 before I even think about doubling that distance. It was the same when I did my 50K. I wanted to get a couple in just to know, because every race is going to be different. And if you can get a couple 50Ks under your belt, maybe you can run the whole gamut of how bad it will be and how good it will be. So you can be ready for the bad moments and the good moments for those bigger distances. And that's kind of how I viewed my training and building up to things. And when you're talking about a 200-mile race, essentially everything is going to go wrong at some point.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to do is be like, I've run 100. I got this. Yeah. It's a different, you have to have years, I feel like years of miles under your belt, like 100 milers, you know, just knowing what it's like to go to 0 and beyond. So I don't know, maybe someday, but it's not on my radar quite yet.
There's a question in the chat room just in regards to sending in stories for viewer mail. Ryan Flint just asked, can we start sending in our stories for the next one?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. We're going to try to get through as many as possible today, and there will be leftovers that will most likely get saved until next one, which will hopefully be, in 4 or 5 weeks or something like that. So yes, please can continue to bring them in. And as races unfold and your fall schedules unfold and stories pop up, bring them on. This one's a bit longer, but I wanted to read it because I felt like a connection to it. This one's from Kevin. I'm going to completely mispronounce his last name. Scheiferstein? Kevin.
I like it.
Yeah, great. What's happening, Ethan and Kim? This is long. I apologize. Well, first of all, Kevin, you got to thank Gus or say what's up to Gus. No, just kidding.
Play by the rules.
I don't know you, nor do you know me, but I felt compelled to email you guys regardless because your message videos have really resonated with me. Disclaimer, I was going to censor this email, but I decided not to. I have a tendency to write emails the same way I speak, which, as you can imagine, can get a little dicey at work or talking to new folk, but hate is going to hate. Am I right? Already like this guy. Just kidding. I'm a corporate sucker and and I have to censor the beep out of my emails at work. I'm not going to swear on the show because I know some of you guys have families sitting next to you. Kim will swear for me. I'll point to Kim when there's a swear word, and Kim just add whatever word you want. Okay, just kidding. I'm a corporate sucker and censor the
honk
out of my emails at work. I digress. Let me start off with a wee bit about myself. There goes my mouse again. Stand by.
What is the deal?
I think it's like my sweaty fingers or something make it go double. I am 24 and I am originally from Pittsburgh, 2016 Stanley Cup champs, I might add. However, right now,
what year was that?
2016?
Oh, 16? No.
Okay, hockey fan here. However, right now I work and reside in Boston. I am an industrial designer, and when I am not up making models, I am behind the computer most of the day.
Can I just interrupt for one quick
Please.
second? When I was a child, a teeny tiny child, I grew up in a hockey family, and we watched NHL all the time. I loved how cute the penguin was on the Pittsburgh Penguin jerseys. So I actually had a Pittsburgh Penguin pendant on my wall as a tiny, tiny little child because the penguin was cute.
That's how you pick your sports teams when you're a kid.
Sure.
Oh, look.
That just brought back like memory.
Look, the 49ers. Such a cute logo. Go Niners. That's not how Kim sounded when she was, I don't know. Maybe it was.
It's exactly how
Oh my God.
Penguin.
Oh my God. Canada.
Anyways.
That's like from just up the street there.
Go
That's more
Penguins.
Valley. Go Penguins. Anyways, I am behind the computer most of the day. I fell into this unhealthy, lazy lifestyle of work and then going home and hitting Netflix hard, crushing seasons of Lost like it was nobody's business. And let's not talk about my addiction to cheesesteaks. Woof. I was getting pretty sick of my squishy slug self, and when New Year's came around, I decided to make a New Year's resolution and stick to it, which is a pretty lofty goal considering the past 10 years had resulted in almost immediate failures. So I dragged my lazy
Meep.
to the gym and stuck with it. By 3 weeks in, I was running 2 to 3 miles a couple times a week, and my buddy from the Berg, who is an avid runner, asked me if I would like to run the Pittsburgh Marathon with him. I really needed a goal, so I said,
Meow.
Why not? So I pieced together a training schedule from various ones that I had found on the World Wide Web and had 3 months to get into marathon shape. Never in my life did I think I could enjoy running. I was amazed how much I fell into love with the sport. About a month and a half into training, I tore my flexor digiti mini brevis, which if you don't know, which I don't know, it is a tiny
Apple.
muscle on your pinky toe. Really? This is crazy.
That's very
That's a very specific point. How the
woof.
did
I'm
that?
running out of my
You're running out of words.
resources.
You have plenty of time between these two, by the way.
I'm trying to
I'm sure they're enjoying the story. Just think of a swear word blank. How the woof? She said woof. Well, we'll keep it at that at this point.
Come on.
But think of another one. Well, it's the same sentence. I'm just rehashing the same sentence.
I'm just gonna recycle through them.
How the
Hunk.
did that happen, you ask? Who the hell knows, amigos? The physical therapist said, by the way, he wrote that. Who the hell knows, amigos? This guy's like a new best friend. The physical therapist said she had never heard of anyone tearing it before. On the bright side, it happened after I had already hit 17 miles in my long run. My physical therapist, a seasoned marathoner, said as long as I substitute my runs with cardio on machines, rower, elliptical, bike, allowing my foot to heal, I should be Gucci to run the race May 1st. Have you ever done 3 hours on cardio machines in a gym? Don't. It's a
Cha-ching.
damn nightmare. I think I shouldn't have. Whatever. During the time that I couldn't actually get out and run, I was trying to learn as much as I could. And what videos did I stumble upon? None other than
Cheese.
No, it's the Ginger Runner. That was the correct answer.
Oh.
None other than cheese. I come from a mildly athletic family, and in the time that we have all become adults, none of us really work out. And I wanted to prove to my family and friends that if I could get my lazy ass out of training, get out training for a marathon and actually do it, then hopefully it would inspire them to do the same. When I found the Ginger Runner YouTube channel, when I found the Cheese YouTube channel, I watched the videos every day at work and really loved your message that you were just an average dude, just like myself, and started running, just like I was doing. It really motivated me. Leading up to the marathon, I needed some accountability, so I told my friends, family, work folk, and others. I also decided to run for the National Ovarian Cancer Coalition, raised over $4,000. Awesome and good cause, because cancer is the...
Bazinga. Somebody said bazinga.
They're giving you words now. They're just dishing out words. Great. Cancer is the...
Bazinga.
Worst. And ovarian cancer has affected a lot of people near me. With this motivation, it made it easy to keep up the training. Let's be real. If you back out after you back out after that, you look like a real weenie. Ha ha ha. And yeah, boy, ain't no. and your boy ain't no weenie. He's writing as he's
I feel
talking.
like I should have read this. And your boy ain't no weenie.
So good. Way better. May 1st came around and I did exactly what you specifically told your reviewers not to do during their first marathon. Get caught up in the race excitement and run too fast. The worst part is I was consciously disregarding my rational thoughts to slow down. Foolish. I started bonking around mile 18. You live and you learn, right? My initial goal before I got injured was sub 4 hours. After not getting to actually run for a month and a half, that wasn't going to happen. I reevaluated and would be happy with anything sub 4:30 and to not walk. I got 4:18 and didn't walk, so I was satisfied. Amazing experience. Post-marathon, my buddy said he never wanted to run another. He got 3:38, by the way, no biggie, and would focus on being competitive at shorter distances, while I chose the alternative and to focus on going even further with ultras. I joined Trail Animal Running Club, TARC, which is a local Massachusetts trail running community, and have met some really great people that have helped me so much. I started training for a 50-miler October 8th and added the TARC Summer Classic 50K to get a feel for a trail race and see how I would hold up. I just ran that 50K yesterday and ended up with a 6:49, which I'm pretty damn happy with, but definitely put into perspective how tough the 50-miler is going to be. My little feetsies were screaming after the race, but good Lord, did that tasty victory brew. Good Lord, did that tasty victory brew, haha, turn all those bad feelings into good feelings. Side note, I know it's no mystery, but the training for ultras is so
Honkin'.
time-consuming. How the
Watermelon.
did you train for Cascade Crest 100? Yes.
Right?
Yes, keep going with that. Good Lord, man. Between work and having a social life, it is tough to get 40 to 50 miles in a week, let alone what I'm going to need to get to by October. Jeebus criminy. He wrote that. I didn't have to change any of that. Well, I'll wrap up this email now because I probably just stole 15 minutes of your lives. No, you gave us a wonderful story to share with the community, telling you about my last eight months of mine. Thanks for hanging in there. I really appreciate the content message you two put out there. Keep doing what you're doing. Also, I know all of the homies around with follow you, so if either of you find yourselves thinking about doing a race out east, Massachusetts is not a bad place to pick. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. You guys will get the warm welcome. What does that mean?
Watermelon.
Yeah. What does that mean? I like literal watermelon.
Yeah.
Yes, my girlfriend lives in Irvine, California, so I'm out that way quite frequently. If I happen to catch you guys out on the trail, I'd love to grab a beer with you. We always accept beer. Wonderful story, Kev. Oh, and he submitted pictures. I realized I did not. I'm going to show you guys one of these photos. Let me just download it real quick. Easy. And all I have to do is pull it in here. Give me 1 second. I like that story a lot.
Pete Kresak says, holy watermelon, that guy is awesome.
Yeah, for sure. But I think, it's also testament to everyone's busy. Everyone has a regular job. Here's the picture from, this is, I believe, the end of the marathon. He is on the left-hand side. Am I wrong? Is he on the left or is he on the right? I'm trying to, because he has a Google image. I'm guessing he's on the left because he sent
in the
two
gray
photos.
Shirt?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think he's a gray shirt.
All right, Kevin. Let me know if I'm wrong. Kevin is one of those two guys right there. Regardless, having a full-time job isn't an excuse because people are out there doing it. People are out there training for their first marathon, for their first 50K, setting big goals. And that is awesome to hear people be able to set those goals. Even have speed bumps along the way, including injury, tiny little pinky.
That's so crazy.
That is crazy. But of course, injuries like that exist. So getting over that and being able to get through the marathon in a real respectable time, dude, seriously, that's fantastic.
Was it 3:38?
That was his friend's time.
That was his friend's time.
His was 4:18. His original goal was sub 4.
Which is so much faster than I've ever completed a full
that's
marathon.
just it. It's like, that's an amazing time for one, going into it injured, not being able to train, and as your first marathon, fantastic effort. I think my first marathon was like a 4:24, and I promise you, every time you run a marathon, you can get faster. I think I've already put out there that this year I would like to try to accomplish a Boston qualifying time, which to me is like, it's not going to happen. But you look back and if I go back and look at my own history running that distance, it's very obvious that you can make big improvements if you do everything right and training wise. So this is really awesome, man. Congratulations, Kevin. Real happy for you. And I hope your last name is pronounced Scheiferstein. If it's not, I'm completely...
He ain't no weenie.
He ain't no weenie. Holla at ya boy. Boy.
Ben Harris in the chat room says, if you want it, you will make the time. And that is very, very true.
Completely. All right. This one is from Rich. Hello, Ethan is probably the number one thing ultra runners should have on his or her mind before going into a big race. But that's look after your damn feet. I almost added a Alec,
watermelon,
or
apple.
Kevin thing. Well, I learned the hard way in last week's Woodstock 100 miler in Michigan. I believe Rich and I had talked about this a little bit via Twitter or something like that. Rich, remind me if that's true. I took some measures of changing my socks after 2 16-mile loops. I brought 3 pairs of shoes for options. I wasn't prepared for the 8 hours of torrential rain that turned the trails into a soupy, slippery river of mud on my 3rd loop. There was a total of 6 loops to finish the 100 miles. My feet got trashed. I didn't bring foot lube, enough socks, flat out, no blister toolbox. I learned the hard way. I hobbled the 4th loop and dropped down to the 100-kilometer. I am sure you and other viewers can attest. You learn something new with every race, whether it's nutrition, cramps, hydration. I won't give up on my goal. I am more motivated than ever to get my first 100-miler. Rich. Job runner. I get it. Let's do some running around. That is from Rich. One, congratulations for even starting. Just being able to toe the line of a 100-miler is, we've mentioned it on the show, it takes a lot of guts. It does. Or as Apple would say, it takes a lot of courage.
Good one.
Thanks,
Way to be
babe.
relevant.
Watermelon. At your boy. Congratulations on even getting there and getting there injury free. And when you run into problems like weather, a lot of that's out of your control. So you have to make sure that you chalk up some of that to other like learning experiences. It's not your fault. Feet will, and that's the other thing, is like feet will disintegrate differently on different days. So just because your feet went to absolute crap on that day because of, wet trails and stuff, doesn't mean that will always be the case.
Right.
And we've had vice versa, where you come like your feet, you're worried that your feet are just going to get trashed, and you bring everything, and then you get rain and rain and rain and rain and rain. Your feet are like completely normal,
fine.
totally fine. So don't blame yourself for that. But anytime you're going to deal with weather, I think this is the same thing at Cascade Crest. I was very fortunate at Cascade, where the only I had, it was after the full night experience in the rain, cold, and ice stuff. It was the first aid station in Morning Light. It was Mineral Creek that I changed my socks and my shoes again, and that saved me for the rest of the race. But I still finished with just like waterlogged feet. There's a real quick glimpse of them at the end of the Cascade Crest video, and it sucks. Like you get feet wet and they take a turn for the worse. It's bad. And you get trench foot. You get all sorts of just nastiness down there.
Especially if you're in it for the long haul, like 100-miler.
Yeah, if it's a couple hours, then you're fine. If 4 to 6 hours, you're probably okay. But anytime you start dealing with distances and all that kind of stuff, it can get real nasty. Regardless, congratulations, Rich, on completing the 100-kilometer distance. And yeah, you'll get back out there and you will crush the 100-mile distance. This next one's from Harvey. Hey, Ginger, I just wanted to write in my running story and how you have helped and inspired me to train harder and work towards my running dreams. It all began with the local park run, which is a free 5K race. I ran a 29-minute, 30-second something I was super proud of at the time. I soon discovered your videos and finding a New Balance Fresh Foam review. I found it hilarious. It was inspiring and made running fun. I have now continued to run for 4 years and have a best time of 16:09 at the same park run. That's amazing improvement. And recently ran the Great North Run Half Marathon in 1:16:40. Not sure I would have gotten to this point in such a short time without the channel and the Ginger Runner community. Many thanks, Harvey. Huge improvements.
Huge.
To be able to run a half marathon in 1:16 is fantastic, and a 5K in 16:09, the guy is ripping. So especially after 3 or 4 years of training, that is proof that we can get there. So congratulations, Harvey. That is amazing. All right, this one is from Frederick. I wanted to make sure I got to this one too, because Frederick's a frequent viewer and reached out, and he also sent some photos and stuff like that. Frederick, I apologize. I'm probably also going to mispronounce your last name. Åkerstrand? What do you think?
Åkerstrand?
Åkerstrand? Åkerstrand?
I think it's Åk.
I think it's Åk too. Åkerstrand. Yeah. So Frederick, I hope we're probably both wrong. It's probably like, it's Smith. So I hope we're getting it right. Hi there. I just want to write and thank you for being one of the biggest sources of running inspiration. I remember when you released your movie Squamish 50/50 and said the magic words, embrace doubt. That really made me think that I can run an ultra. I started to run more and more trail running instead of road, joined Team Nordic Trail, and started to look for a race that would be my first ultra marathon. The race I chose was a 30-mile race with almost 4,000 feet of elevation just outside of my hometown in Sweden. Nervous and almost a bit scared, I faced out head-on on the 4th of September. The race was the toughest thing I have ever done, and I was really close to giving up with only 4.5 miles left. I was so tired and all of my energy was gone, and I knew that I had a steep ski slope to climb just before the finish line. But with a little help from a good friend and lots of Coca-Cola, I went back out there on the trail, climbed that sucker, and ran across the finish line. Dead last, of course, but who cares? I did it. Best feeling in the world. So thanks again for all the inspiration and energy you and Kim spread across the running community. Keep it up. Thanks from Sweden, Frederick Smith. Åkerstrand, I'm hoping. P.S. Maybe it's time to do a new mashup of your new music tracks. I believe Frederick is a musician or a DJ and like meshes up tracks and stuff like that. Here is a picture from Frederick of just like one of the views. It's just beautiful, beautiful. You have to remind us, Frederick, that you said this is in Sweden. I'm curious as to where, because I really want to go to Sweden.
We want to do some international stuff.
Yeah, I really want to go international. Huge congrats, man. Seriously, that's amazing. Who cares what place you fish in? The fact you got it done is pretty astounding. It's pretty amazing. That is a ton of gain, too. 4,000 feet of gain in a 30-mile race is pretty good. It's pretty gnarly. Pretty gnarly course. Nice job.
It's pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome. Let's go on to the chat room. What are people saying?
There's a few questions about GRVR. People are wondering when they're going to get their swag in the mail. And there's been a couple of people saying that actually Jeremy just said my training for the GRVR is going great.
Nice.
I think that's pretty awesome. He said, where did we go here? Jeremy said, I want to run 10 miles. I've never run that far before, but I'm excited to go for it. Thanks for the inspiration.
Shipping of all the GRVR swag will happen, I think it's going to be the second week of October, so you should have plenty of time to get it before the race. I want everyone to kind of receive it at the same time. And the international orders definitely take a little bit longer, so sooner that you get it, obviously, the better. But I'm really excited. If you are a Patreon crew member, we just posted the t-shirt option. We're basically having a choose the t-shirt design.
Yeah, go vote, you guys.
Go vote if you are a Patreon crew supporter. If you're not, consider it. It basically, for as little as $1 a month, it keeps the channel alive and working. Basically helps keep food on our table and allows us to focus just on Ginger Runner. So consider joining if you have not already. But if you are a Patreon member, then you can go check out the designs. There's 2 designs, 2 color options. And you basically get to choose which one that we think we're going with. Right now, it's kind of a dead heat between 2, and it'll be really, really interesting. But I'm very, very excited about that. Okay. Oh, I just got a text from Mr. James Varner. So I didn't actually mention this during the show tonight, but I did mention it on social media that 2 running films from Ginger Runner were chosen to compete in the Trail Running Film Festival, which is this weekend in Seattle. The big film fest is this weekend, and then they're doing a big tour across the United States, and I think a little bit in Canada. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just kicked the camera. Sorry, guys. Oh, that's the Sculpin talking. I mean, kicking. So yeah, 2 films, Amongst the Evergreens and Wonderland, were chosen to compete in the film festival, which is amazing. We don't know the finalists, though. The finalists are going to be announced tonight. James just texted saying finalists are being announced now on the Facebook page. Oh. So I'm guessing within the next few minutes, we'll be able to find out if either of the films was nominated for an award, which would be pretty amazing. So maybe we'll find out by the end of the show. Kim is going to try to pull it up here, and I'll try to read another story while I eagerly keep my eye on it. Regardless, I will be going to Seattle this weekend for the Trail Running Film Festival. So if you are in Seattle or you're nearby and you are planning on coming, please do, because I would love to meet you at one of the film events. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday night, and it's going to be a real quick trip. Unfortunately, Kim will not be able to attend because we have a son.
I'm going to be here like partying with Gus and I host live shows every night. I'm not.
You should.
You guys.
You should. I'll be real jealous.
So it's me and Gus
real
here.
jealous. Me and Gus.
So what are you guys doing?
What are you guys doing? What's going on? So let me know what you find out if those awards are posted. Okay, cool. Moving on to more stories. This is from Jason. Hey, Ethan, love your music, movies, big fan, etc. Accomplishment. Ran my first marathon this weekend at Rough Creek Trail Race in North Texas. Came into it with a calf injury, so I decided to walk instead of running. That may have saved my ass. I won my age group with a time of 7:09. It had about 3,000 feet of gain. I got 13th overall walking it, which is amazing. The course had about 50% DNF rate. Is this the hardest marathon around? Crazy. That's amazing, Jason. Congratulations, first of all, for placing in your age group. Or winning your age group and placing, what'd you say, 13th overall? That's insane. Just walking it because of a calf injury. I'm impressed. Very, very impressed. And I have not heard of this marathon, but it sounds fun. Rough Creek Trail Race in North Texas. Gain? 3,000 feet, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think Big Sur Marathon, it's like 2,000?
It's like maybe
15?
high twos?
High
twos?
twos?
Maybe not.
2,500? It's a lot, but also doing it on trails with probably technical terrain and stuff like that. Very impressive, my friend, being able to walk a marathon in 7:09 over trails with 3,000 feet of gain.
That's impressive.
And place, pretty amazing. Nice work.
Question in the chat room from Manny Star. Are you vegan?
No.
All right.
Vegetarian. Kim and I have been vegetarian for what, 9 years?
Years and years and years and years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of eat as close to vegan as we can.
So close to it.
I just love the cheese.
Yeah, I do too.
I do eggs.
I love cheese.
I do eggs once in a while too.
Eggs are rare, but we do eat products that do have eggs in them. Bread, primarily, stuff like that. But yeah, we're like almost vegan, but vegetarian.
Yes.
This is from Jeff. Just read an article in Runners. Now, I was also taking questions as well. So if you have stories, you can continue to submit them. But I also took questions. I remember this as being a question. Just read an article in Runner's World about running camps. Any thoughts or reviews on any particular running camps? Any thoughts on a Ginger Runner running camp in a cool location? I am not going to divulge any details before we get ahead of ourselves. But yes, this has been something that we've been considering for a long time. We are thinking bigger than this. So we are thinking a much bigger thing. That being said, it wouldn't be like, hey, I'm going to coach you guys on how to do something cool or anything like that. We would be bringing in professionals to provide us with an experience that is groundbreaking. So that is kind of, we've been toying with this idea for a long time. And it would be something that would benefit anyone that's in attendance, as well as people like coaches and other elites that could really help with their information. Because I think what we've been really great at is providing a platform and an outlet for education, as opposed to just being educators ourselves. I don't have a degree in sports fitness. I don't have a degree in physiotherapy or coaching or anything like that.
We're not nutritionists.
And I will never claim to be that. That is, I'm just not. And I will never claim to be an expert in those fields. There are people that are. And I think being able to bring those types of people in could be a really amazing thing. So I will just plant the seed that there is an idea and there is a plan, and it is a much larger plan than I would be willing to divulge in just a couple minutes here. Yeah.
And for us too, we just want to be able to, like, we're talking about this. We do a lot of our brainstorming when we go on our runs together. And for me, because there's been a number of camps that I've wanted to participate in, but it's just like so financially out of reach for me. So for me, it's kind of a big deal to try and make these types of things as affordable as we can.
100%. Yeah,
I understand these things cost money, and to bring in people, you want to compensate them and yada yada yada. But
it's the same with GRVR. We wanted to make something that was accessible to everybody, financially accessible to everybody, because the last thing we want to do is fork over a lot of money for not a lot in return. So the goal was to make it as non-profitable as possible, so you're getting as much for your dollar as possible. And that's, I think, really what you're getting. And I was excited. I'm sorry. Beer's making me belch, but that has always been our goal, to make things as great as possible for as little financial allocation as possible. Really, basically, as the best for the lowest amount. What's going on? Is there snoring?
There's a little snoring going on.
Of course there is. This next email is from Paul. I ran my first 50K yesterday, and I still feel nauseated today. Have you experienced this? I've been reading that it's possible to drink too much water during a race, so maybe that's what caused this. I feel like I'm hungover, not to mention the excruciating quad pain. Have a great show. Thanks. Paul, definitely. I felt like after Cascade Crest, I felt off for weeks. That's, I think, expected in a 100-miler, especially a 100-miler where you're, going through hyperthermic states and all sorts of expenditures energy-wise. But when you're doing a first distance of any type, I feel like that's a fairly normal symptom. If you are experiencing, I'm not a doctor, let me put that out there, guys, not a doctor. If you're experiencing anything out of the ordinary for more than a day, I would consider going to your doctor and just making sure you maybe get blood drawn, you check your energy levels, check your iron levels, B12s, all that kind of thing. Just do it. Don't hesitate. Just do it if you're feeling off for a while. We've had friends that have done ultras, finished bleeding from places, and they don't get checked out for like a week and find out that it's a much bigger issue that will take a lot longer to recover from. So that's not what you're probably suffering from, but the nausea thing, that's fairly normal. I mean, if you experience nausea during a race, like Quicksilver last year, I was really nauseous for a lot of that race. I really wasn't able to eat for hours after that race. So if you finish late at night and you go to bed and you wake up the next morning and you're still nauseous, I feel like that's totally normal.
Yeah, after my 50-miler, I ordered a bunch of food.
Yeah,
all the food I ordered.
Yeah, I think we had like French fries, and you're just like,
and like pizza, and
I think I'm done.
I couldn't eat.
Yeah, we couldn't eat. Yeah, we couldn't eat anything. So I feel like that's totally normal.
Yeah.
All right, this one's from Alyssa. Hi, Ethan and Kim. I unexpectedly won something this weekend. I am a typical middle-of-the-pack runner when it comes to normal races, but this weekend I participated in an event called the OMM Light in North Yorkshire, England. It involves using a map and a compass, so essentially an orienteering event, which I think is pretty cool. It involves using a map and compass to navigate to various control locations to collect as many points as possible within a given time, 5 hours on Saturday and 4 hours on Sunday. My friend and I won our category, covering around 29 miles over the 2 days. We didn't go into this event expecting to win anything, as we are not particularly fast runners, but I guess our navigation and route planning worked out. I'd recommend an event like this to anyone, as it shows that there are other ways to race other than speed and distance. P.S. Whenever I lose my running mojo, these viewer mail episodes are guaranteed to bring it back. It's from Alyssa. That's awesome.
That's really awesome.
I don't know if you can hear that, but that is Gus snoring. I'm totally into things that are different.
A little different, yeah.
That's why we signed up for this 12-hour race coming up in October. It's different. It's like, I haven't done anything like it. And you haven't done anything like it. So an orienteering race, that sounds amazing. Our good friend Gary Robbins this is a question that I received today, and I'll answer it now. Recently competed in the Barkley Marathons in 2016. Was on his 5th loop and had to pull out. We have 2 episodes dedicated to that experience, so I definitely encourage you to go watch them, because there are some amazing stories from that event. I did film his experience there. That film is unfinished. We are planning on continuing the documentary. That is why I have not posted the video from that race, because that is an ongoing project. I had to make the tough decision not to edit and put something together for that, and I'm going to save it for a much bigger project. But he has been doing more orienteering stuff, because that was the one thing that he felt he needed to work on from Barkley. And it stuck with me too. I'm like, that actually sounds fun. Because not only you can run, so these events that you can, you have your maps and your orienteering stuff, you can run them. There are people that run these events, but you have to be good at map skills. I think that's really cool.
I also think map skills are just something that is good to have, and it's something that I'm definitely lacking in.
Totally agree. Not that you're lacking in it, but then I think it's something important to have.
No, I totally agree. You're lacking.
There are so many emails, and I'm just like,
let's have Dr. Danuch in the chat. Right?
Dr. Danuch is in the chat. For those not familiar, Dr. Danuch is Chris Danucci. We had him on recently, the winner and champion of this year's Squamish 50-50. Very talented runner. And
he was just chiming in on the nausea. He said nausea is totally normal.
Totally normal. And this is a doctor, by the way, guys. Dr. Danuch.
But
not a real doctor. He's a radiologist, according to his girlfriend. But we're drinking some Ballast Point for you tonight, Danuch. All right. Keep going.
Kimosabi says, ask the question for both of us. Prediction for the 12-hour? I have secret goals. They may or may not
here's my prediction.
Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, I was going to say candy, because it takes place on Halloween weekend, or the weekend just before Halloween. And
we've been promised that there's going to be a lot of candy.
So I think
hear
that's the
that some
prediction.
fellow Canadians are bringing down some particular candy that I have not been able to find in the
Cheesies?
U.S.
It's not candy, but cheesies?
Sour keys.
I don't know what that is.
Sour key? It's like a key.
Oh, is it like
candy?
a Philadelphia Flyers thing or a Boston
Pittsburgh Penguin?
Sure.
No.
Hockey.
No.
I got the Philly Flyers right though, right? That's a hockey team?
Yes. I don't know if they're
Sports, guys. Sports.
anyways.
Seahawks running.
Somebody was
That's
also like heckling us about the Seahawks in the chat room, and I think it might have been Ted, but I'm not 100% sure. Somebody was
We
like,
were
LA
very-
Rams.
Oh my God, LA Rams. Ugh, the worst. I live in Los Angeles and I get it. LA loves their local teams. But man, the Seahawks just had a terrible game. They were not good. And the LA Rams were not great either, but they were better. But my big thing, like LA Rams fans are the worst. There's already videos circling of LA Rams fans like ganging up on Seahawks fans and beating them up in the Coliseum.
Really?
Yeah, there's a video that went around of some guy like just talking with another, like a Seahawk fan talking with a Rams fan. It was probably heated, but then some woman comes up from behind and like pushes him over and starts punching him. LA Rams fans, man.
All right.
They're going to be an interesting team to follow this year, I think. All right.
So far, the Trail Running Film Fest are just announcing the finalists for the categories.
I think they'll announce the winners at the festival, but the finalists. So I'm curious if.
I don't see anything yet.
Okay, keep me posted. Keep posted on the finalists and all that stuff, because I think they're going to be posting that stuff. Yeah, he texted me just saying that the finalists are going to be announced literally now as we're unfolding with the episode. I'm going to read a couple more viewer mails. There's a bunch here, guys, so I think it's pretty awesome. I just want to make sure I get through as many as possible. I may do a couple in the post show because we are right now about an hour long, which is fine. The Cypher is like sports talk.
Exactly.
Ginger Runner Live is a sports talk show, essentially, but yeah, I'm totally with you. All right, here we go. Bit low. It might be a little too long before we end the show. This one's from Patrick. Hey, Ginger and Mrs. Ginger. We'll call her Kim. I'm in training for the Zion 100, which takes place in early April. My goal is to finish the race happy within the 34-hour cutoff. The second 2/3 of the training plan I am following calls for weekly long runs near or at the 50K distance. My question is this: would it make sense to substitute an actual trail race for some of these longer training runs? I've participated in about a dozen ultras and marathons, and I believe at this point I can keep my pace at appropriate training intensity despite the excitement of a race. Have you incorporated organized races as part of your training ramp up? If so, was it a positive part of your training? Any advice on potential pitfalls or things to focus on would be appreciated. Fantastic question, Patrick. We've talked about it on the show briefly before, sometimes with guests, sometimes just on our own. But I am of the mindset that, yes, if you can get out there for a 50K, even a 50 miler, I used, from when I was training for Cascade Crest, I used 50K, 50 miler, and 100K that year just to refamiliarize my body with what it's like to go for the longer distances. So those races I was using primarily as training runs for Cascade Crest. I tried desperately not to focus on finish times or anything other than this is a training run. So that, included holding back on speed and stuff like that. You'll talk to other ultra runners that will tell you use those as race effort tests and, go for it. You're trained to run the 50K distance because you're training for 100. So go for the 50K. I think it'll be down to timing and when you time those races. Again, not a coach, not going to tell you when your body or your training will allow for a certain distance at a certain time. There are coaches that can provide professional advice in that department, but I was definitely using races as long sanctioned training runs. It is awesome because then you get to replicate the race environment where you are running with other people. You get to use that knowledge that you're talking about of talking yourself down, like talking yourself a little bit slower. You get to work on that. You get to work on race day nutrition. You get to focus on aid stations and how you're going to work with them, drop bags, all the logistics that you're going to be using on race day for the 100, you get to use in a shorter distance. And I think that's hugely beneficial, if not just mentally going through the motions of what you'll do on race day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I encourage you to do it. And, it might cost you, you end up paying $100 or whatever for the race. I think it's money well spent. and you get to experience what it's like to run those trails and that ultra under those race directors and have some fun doing it. Maybe earn some bling in the process.
Bling.
Bling. All right. I think this will be the last one. This is from Jose Rivera. Hello, Ethan. Last year, I ran my first 100-miler. The race is called Ghost Train. It's a 15-mile course, 7.5 miles out and back, that you do 6 times. It's about 90 miles. And then you run 5 out and 5 back for the last 10 miles. The course is mostly on an old railroad trail held at the end of October near or on Halloween, hence the name, Ghost Train. My farthest race before that point had only been a 50K, so I went into it thinking I would do 60 miles, 4 out and back loops, but I made a fortunate mistake of riding up to the race with 3 friends that were doing the full 100 miles and leaving my car behind. After doing 60 miles, I was done, physically and mentally. I sat around for a good 45 minutes trying to figure out how to get home. How could I call? During this time, one of my friends came back from one of her loops and desperately convinced me to keep running with her. I didn't want to go. Man, I did not want to go. I can imagine finishing 100K and just like sitting down going, I'm done with my race. I would never want to get back up and continue on to do more. This is the only time in my life that I was literally pissed off about having to continue running. Why did I leave my car? What was I thinking? Because he would have had to sit around and wait for his friends to finish is kind of, I believe, what his point is. There were plenty of highs and a hell of a lot of lows from both of us those last 40 miles, but we stuck together for the most part. I finished in 26 hours and 27 minutes. I could not believe what had just happened. I ran 100 miles. I earned my very first buckle. Needless to say, 6 weeks from now, I'll be running it again, but this time with a goal in mind. I'm shooting for an under 24-hour finish. I've really been training hard for this, and I feel like I can do it. I need to prove to myself that last year was not a fluke. Just want to say thank you to you, Ethan. You've been a true inspiration. You have a passion for what you do, and it flows through you and your music, your videos, and your show. Keep doing what you do. From Jose Rivera. That is an awesome story. I love that story because we've all been there where we run a race. Doesn't matter what distance, guys. Doesn't matter if it's a 5K. Doesn't matter if it's a 5,000K. You finish and you go, I'm done. So to know that you already put yourself in a position of like, well, crap. I have to now wait for my friends to finish the distance. Okay. Hell yeah. I'm gonna tell you.
Finish what
I'm gonna say. So to get up out of the chair, off the picnic table, off the ground, and tell yourself, "Ooh, that 60 miles you just ran. That's the warm up. You got about 40 more to go." That takes some serious mental strength. I will tell you that will be hugely beneficial to you coming up into this 100-miler because you already know that you can run 100K. Like you're done and then get up and do another 40 miles. So you're going to be just fine. Congratulations on doing it last year. Let's see if we can get another buckle this year. Again, keep us posted. Let me know. And that'll wrap up our main show. Trail Running Film Fest just posted that the finalists for Best Feature Film include Endure by Jay Korf, Wonderland by the Ginger Runner, and Outside Voices by Joel Wolpert, who we've had on the show as well. And Outside Voices is a fantastic film. One of 3. That's amazing.
And those are that's like
best feature. That's a stamp that I would love to just stick right on there. So that's for Wonderland. That's the documentary I made about Gary Robbins' run around Mount Rainier. It would be awesome. It would be really, really awesome. Sweet. So we'll find out. We'll find out if it wins this weekend. I think that one's playing. It's either playing Saturday or Sunday. I'll find out. And as soon as I find out, I'll tweet, even if it's lose.
Yeah, but it's an honor to be nominated.
It's an honor to be nominated. I am really excited, guys, because none of my films have ever been nominated for anything. It's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Okay, cool. We're gonna wrap it up there. I think that's a great place to wrap it up. If you guys find yourself getting to mile 60 of something, even if it's just life, even if it's not metaphorical miles, you still have 40 miles left in you. That's my message for tonight. Real cheesy, Ethan.
My message for tonight is I love ketchup chips.
Watermelon.
No, there's a lot of Canadian food chat in the.
Oh yeah, ketchup chips. Kim is a ketchup chip lover. That's true. Those have existed in our house before. Oh my God. That is it for the live show. We're going to do a real quick post show because I know that there were still some questions that came through via email that we did not get to answer. So I'm trying to find those here. That'll be done in the post show. But of course, thank you guys for tuning in live tonight for Ginger Runner Live, episode number 134. I hope that you enjoyed tonight. Those of you who have submitted stories, thank you, thank you, thank you. I was not able to get to a lot of stories tonight, so I'm going to be saving those for the next Inspiration Viewer Mail episode, which we'll hopefully do sooner than later. I love reading your stories because we can get so wrapped up. It's our favorite thing because we can get so wrapped up in our own like day to day and our own races and disappointment from our own training runs and stuff like that. It's always good to hear a variety of stories and what other people are going through. And we can use this community and use these shows to help support each other. If you are listening or watching an archive version of this, days from now, even months or years from now, jump into the chat room and maybe the dialogue will continue to spread. I really appreciate you guys tuning in every Monday. It's awesome. We'll see you guys next Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific. Anything, Kim?
Sounds good. Are you going to be in LA?
No, I come home Monday morning.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll
so
fly
yes,
back.
you will be.
So I will. Oh yes, so I thought you asked if I was going to be in Seattle. I will be here next Monday, and next Monday's guest Joe Grant, who just completed one of the most like incredible things ever. Basically, summiting every 14er in Colorado, human powered, whether by bike or by foot, and set the new fastest known time doing that. And I can't wait to hear all about it. So we're gonna have Joe on next week. I'm really excited about that episode. And again, I will let you guys know what happens this weekend. If you are in the Seattle area, come hang out. It'd be great to meet you guys.
Tickets available, right?
I think there's a couple. If not, maybe some of the nights are sold out, but I'm going to be Saturday and Sunday night. So hopefully one of those nights is still available. Check it out. That's it. All right. Stick around if you want for the post show. We'll do a little bit more there. In the meantime, get out there, train hard, race harder, and party hardest.
I know I am.
Bye.
Ginger Runner.
Yay! James just texted me and says tickets are still available. So if you guys are in the Seattle area or in the Northwest and you want to come up for the festival, it's a whole weekend thing. Starts Friday. There's runs organized each morning. There's hi, buddy. There's an amazing expo with brands and prizes and all sorts of stuff. It's going to be pretty awesome. And music and bands and all sorts of parties. So check it out. Grab some tickets. It'd be awesome. Hi, Gus. This is our dog, in case you have not met him before.
All right.
Yeah. What's going on in the chat?
If you guys have any kind of final rapid fire type questions for either Ethan or myself, you guys can ask them here. I know somebody earlier, I don't remember the name, asked what our next races were. We kind of told you the fun thing we're doing at the end of October. And I think there are still some entries available for the 6-hour and for the 12-hour for that race.
I believe so. I think the PM 6-hour too.
Yes.
I think definitely the PM 6-hour version. Yeah, that'd be really great. I'm really excited about that race. I'm nervous about it, but
I'm nervous, but I'm also
nervous.
I'm not really going into this race with like strict expectations.
Right.
I have some secret goals.
Sure.
Like winning.
Yeah, it's a 2-mile loop, so you're always getting back to the same sort of party zone. So I'm kind of excited about that, and just being able to go for like 1.9 miles out in the trails and come back and be like, that loop sucked. I'll wait 10 minutes and go do another one. You know, you can just take your time. You're just basically outside for 12 hours. It's not a bad thing.
Chris Sorensen asked, Ethan or Kim, what is the big goal that you would hope to accomplish in the next 5 years? I guess stick it to running or running centric.
Yeah, I was gonna say the camp thing that we kind of talked about. That's my 5-year goal. I think so. Yeah, I think that's probably the 5-year plan. So that's why we're not really talking about it now, because it's a 5-year plan. More organized events, more opportunities to meet people face to face. That's my immediate goal with Ginger Runner. So yes, with films, I want to continue doing at least 2 or 3 bigger projects a year film wise, because I think I have the most fun editing those, so that for me is, I mean, I don't know if they're asking like race wise or distance wise. I obviously want to continue to do that. We have a lot of like trail goals. We wanted to do the John Muir Trail, the Enchantments, the Wonderland Trail. We have all these trail goals, sections of PCT. But creatively, I'd love to be consistent with 3 or 4 bigger projects a year, as well as organized events, including an East Coast tour, a European tour, and doing more live meet and greet type things. What about you?
And for me, I want to check off the 100-mile distance off my list, hopefully sooner than later. And
let's just do it tomorrow.
Doing it tomorrow.
Do it at the 12-hour.
No.
Get it done. 12 hours.
In a car?
Yeah.
All right. Little motorcycle. And also, I think an immediate goal for me, like career-wise, is to get my channel up and going, which is on its way.
She's so close, guys. She's doing it on her own, and
with support and help from you.
Well, minimal
support and guidance.
You taught yourself how to edit, which is mind-blowing. It took me, I want to put this out there, guys. It took me years to learn how to edit. Kim, it took her about 4 or 5 hours, and she's crushing it. She came back into the room and was like, "Hey, I edited this. We've just been like using practice videos and stuff to edit with," and she showed it to me, and I just kind of sat there and went, "Some of the edits that you're doing are so advanced. It took me 4 or 5 years to learn how to do it," and here she is, just like, I'm really excited.
I'm excited too.
So yeah, keep your eyes open for Kim's channel, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be really great.
And any ladies out there that have any kind of requests or suggestions or things that you think are lacking in the social media world for ladies, shoot me an email or send me a direct message.
Yep.
I'd love to hear from you guys.
Yep. I have a question. This came through with the submissions for inspiration, stories, and questions. This came from Chris. Love your movies. Our whole family watches all your new videos, which I think that's amazing. By the way, I get this email a lot, or comments of families mentioning that families sit down and watch the videos, and I get so excited by that because I started the channel thinking that it was just going to be for 25-year-old people who because I guess it was 27 or 28 when I kind of started it, and I was just like, this is just going to be my age demographic that are going to be watching these reviews and videos, and that's going to be it. But to find out that there are families sitting down and watching race videos and reviews, and people's kids that are singing the theme song, mind-blowing and amazing.
That's one of my favorite things, is to get the video clips of the kids singing the theme
Yes.
song.
That would be awesome to get, like, not a competition, but like a whole video of kids singing the theme song would be pretty amazing. Anyways, Chris goes on to say, I am curious if you and Kim cross-train with other sports like kayaking or cycling. How do you fit this into your run training schedule? At this point, there's very little in the way of cross-training.
We're bad cross-trainers.
We're bad cross-trainers right now. There was a time when I was doing a lot of cycling because I was training for the Seattle to Portland bike ride, which is a 220-mile ride. And that I basically was cutting my time between cycling and running. I felt like I never wanted to I didn't want to half-ass my cycling. So I was training for big events in cycling because I felt like it was the only way I could keep up with the exercise level in both sports. I would really like to do a triathlon. I really want to. I don't know how to swim. So that's one of those things you gotta.
Maybe that's part of your 5-year plan.
Maybe that's part of my 5-year plan. Do an Ironman.
It's pricey for the swimming lessons.
Yeah, it's very pricey. And I have lots of family members and friends who are like, I'll train you how to swim, man. I'll just come to the pool. I'll train you how to swim.
It's harder to teach an adult how to swim. Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Like, I think I've said it to you too, of like, oh yeah, I'll just show you how to swim.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, it's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah. What about you?
What about me? What?
Cross training.
I don't really cross train.
It's
one of the things that I'm definitely bad about, and we
have been enjoying eating though. It's been good. Like, the food lately has been so good.
Cross training?
Yeah. It's a lot of stretching. A lot of like stomach stretching.
Stomach stretching.
Yeah.
Raul asks, any fun runs for Gus?
Oh man, that would be awesome.
You know, there is a Strut Your Mutt, and I think it's for the Best Friends.
I have never heard this
No Kill
term.
LA.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think that's happening, and we got invited to strut our mutt, but we are not here that day. It's in October.
Oh man, I feel like we're missing so many amazing things.
I know, there's a couple things that we are definitely missing, but I was planning on signing myself and Gus up for that, and I don't know what the distance is for that. It's small, but
yeah.
But yes, hoping to do some fun things like that with Gus.
I think it'd be awesome. Kim's been running a couple miles with him. He does really well, but he does get to a mileage at this point where he just is like, I'm done.
And it's also like,
out.
It's hot. Like,
it's also
there was
really
record-breaking heat yesterday here.
Yeah,
and that's just
stupid hot. This is an email from Sherry Osborne. Hi, Ethan. Kim posted yesterday, I think, that she has been feeling less than motivated for running lately. I commented that I feel her pain because I can't motivate myself to run much lately either. I could just consider it a rest period, but I don't want to end up completely out of shape and starting from scratch again in a few months. How can you motivate yourself to run when you truly don't want to? Excuse me. I know the obvious answer is to just force myself to go, but if it was that easy, I'd be doing it. Tips? Any tips? P.S. I'm off work tomorrow, so glad I can stay up and listen tonight. 4 time zones away in Nova Scotia.
Oh.
Nice. Our little guy.
I was just making sure he wasn't getting into anything.
He's up to no good.
He is up to no good.
How can you motivate yourself to run when you truly don't want to? Any tips, Ben?
I have a hard time with this one because there's a small part of me that's like, if I really don't want to run, there's a reason that my body is not wanting me to run. But at the same time, if I just, listen to that for days and days and days on end, I would just sit at home and not run for days on end.
Right.
So there's a point where you kind of have to kick yourself in the pants and like get out the door. And usually for me, like for example, yesterday I posted that I was having troubles, and I had a number of people reach out to me telling me their situation, their stories, or how they have like, have been dealing with the same sort of thing. And that kind of stuff motivates me.
Yeah. There was something, I think Gary Robbins has said this, or he posted on it a couple of years ago, and I was like, oh yeah, that's something I might want to incorporate. I think it was 40 minutes. He gives himself 40 minutes every run, where if he starts a run just going, I'm not feeling it today, he gives himself 40 minutes where he gets to the 40-minute mark. If he still feels like he's just not into it, his body is telling him to not, don't run today, to take the day off. But if after 40 minutes, you're like, you know what, I'm kind of warmed up, let me just go add another 10 minutes, or let me go add another 20 minutes. Then it literally was just a mental block, and you just needed to kind of get through it. So I still kind of use that from time to time. There are runs where I will go out, and like lately, I have been having this, where I'll run, I'm just like, oh, it's terrible. This run is not going well. I feel sluggish. We had someone else mention a similar story where they were training at 70% felt like they're 100%. And I would get to that 40-minute mark and just go, I'm not going to run anymore. I'm just going to hike. And then the hike turns out to be pretty good. And then maybe another 30, 40 minutes later, I'll run the downhills or something. You barter systems with your own brain are tough, because you can end up bartering to make it easy on yourself. But I definitely think they have their place. I think those moments where you need to kind of barter with yourself, it works to some degree. There are some workouts that you are just going to need to focus on. But if this is an ongoing thing where you're going week after week after week of trying to barter with yourself, then fully embrace taking some time off. I mean,
or try something different.
Like we were just talking about. Cycling, kayaking, doing something different.
Or just like pack your bag with like some lunch in it and go for a hike.
Yeah.
Like, go out with the intention of just hiking that day and see if that kind of renews your spark.
That's a great idea. Yeah, because your body, there's muscle memory that exists. And if you're running the same trails or the same roads or the same route, your body is going to have this sense of muscle memory. And it's just, what do they call it? Horses have it. Someone just used that term with us.
Oh, it's because we were watching that.
Yeah, I had never heard the term before, but I feel like humans have the same thing.
Destiny was making us watch that Olympic event.
Oh my God, yes. Okay, so long story short, our friend Destiny, who you are familiar with, dressage is the event in the Olympics where the horses are dancing, but the people who ride the horses don't practice. This is why I don't think it's an Olympic sport, because the riders can't practice the event, because if the horses get too familiar with the actual structure of the song or the dance, they get bored and they're more likely to act out against whatever training that they wanted to do. So they end up going into the event like not knowing what the dance is. The sport is the horse riders mentally walking through the dance, and that's it. There's no like practicing on a horse. It's just them mentally yeah, I guess this is it. Mentally training for it. I honestly don't know why.
You're gonna get some dressage hate mail.
I'm gonna make I wish if I was going for viral success on YouTube, all of my videos would have viral titles. I'm gonna make this dressage sucks or something like that. There would be a lot of hate because I know there's a lot of horse lovers out there. I'm not saying anything bad about horses. I just don't get why it's an Olympic sport. That being said, I don't know what the term is called when horses get bored.
Like
barn fever, whatever. I feel like humans probably have the same thing where they're doing the same stuff over and over. And when running is involved, it's a very similar motion activity. So I think changing it up can really help. Changing location, changing time of day, changing like packing a lunch and going for a hike instead of a run.
I think changing location is huge. We kind of talked about this I think last night actually when we were out on our usual run. It's kind of like just because we do the same area all the time, I think it's just kind of refreshing to switch it up. There's a question in the chat room from Elaine. When is the next piece of GR gear after GRVR, of course?
You know what? Let's drop it. Let's drop it right here, right now. What? It is that. I think this is it. Oh, my back. My tailbone. These stools are not great for the tailbone. Yeah, grab that bag because this is a prototype.
Oh,
right? It hurts like the lower.
Those chairs have a time limit.
These stools that we got for this new table and set, they have a time limit. Hurts the tailbone. Okay, so yes, there is more gear. The GRVR thing. This was something I've been wanting to do for a long time. This is the priority. GRVR has the T-shirt, the amazing bottle opener, and I got a picture of the awards that Elevation Culture is creating.
The awards look amazing.
Amazing. It looks so amazing.
I said these awards look better than any awards I've ever seen at an actual event that people
other than a giant 4-foot tall Sasquatch from Bogia. They're amazing. Handmade, handcrafted for the winners of the various awards. There's 10 different categories or 8 categories with 2 that are male and female. So the awards are amazing. These things and the patches. Oh, I'm talking about the patches. These things that you'll be getting. I was very excited because this is kind of a bigger merch package. Once GRVR is done in December, the goal is to have a couple of items to offer. I
was catching up on the dressage talk in the chat room.
All right, so these are still prototypes, but I will drop them here in the post show since there's 130 of you guys watching at this point. So who knows how many people will actually end up seeing this. That being said, they may change between this, what you're about to see, and the finished product, but I think teasing them is totally appropriate because they are, at this point, going to happen. Patreon crew members have are much more familiar with this because they've been getting some behind-the-scenes looks at them. Another reason to sign up on Patreon.
There's all sorts of somebody's asking, is it a life-size Gus cutout? Maybe.
If there's a market for that? Yeah. No, they are Injinji socks. So Injinji and I have partnered up to create some amazing socks. There's 2 versions of them. This is the thicker trail-oriented sock. So it's going to be great for winter running. It has train race beer along the back. It's got some of the Ginger Runner colors. I have been wearing these now for over a year.
We wore those at Cascade
Crest and have been wearing prototypes and stuff for over a year. So they are tested, tried, and approved at this point. So that version.
I like the other version. I think is my favorite.
I like them both because that I think I have a connection to that one, obviously with Cascade Crest. But that is the thicker version, and then this is the thinner version, and this is a prototype. So this. I'm not even going to show you that other sock. So this one will change. It's a thinner It's still a crew, but it's a bit thinner, so it's great for summer wear. But it obviously has the amazing like map topo and colors and brightness. And
I also prefer to wear the thinner ones.
Yeah, these are just like nice and stretchy, super comfortable. The bottom of each foot says "Crush It." I'm so excited for these socks, guys. I'm so excited. I have been wearing Gingy socks, which are the toe socks now since.
We've been wearing them for years. Both of us.
And I can't not wear them in day-to-day and running. I just can't. I can't not wear them because they are the best thing I put on my feet and kept blisters at bay and all that stuff. So these are the two different versions that I will be releasing. As far as the release schedule, yet to be determined. As far as where they will be, what's going on?
He's way back.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
Gus.
Dude, don't go. He is behind my desk eating my drive bay with all of my backups of all of my films. What are you doing back there, dude?
He's wiggling his tail so proud.
It's like, oh my God, I found a new hiding spot. Buddy. The release date of those has not been announced. This was just a sneak peek. You'll find out later. Price, I don't know. Again, it'll be as low as we can possibly make it, and shipping, and there will probably be a deal to get both pairs. So you can have a thicker for winter and a little bit thinner for summer and spring. But yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. Nice to give you the sneak peek.
I'm sorry. He was way back there.
Yeah. And I think I'll be doing a new head wrap too. Probably in December or something like that.
And maybe something else.
And maybe something else.
I want you to do.
Have you talked to me about it? Oh, yeah. And probably something else that Kim really wants, and I really want. Price point's a bit higher for us to make them happen, but I think it's worth it because I think they're really cool. Let's wrap it up. I think that's good. We're going super long at this point. Hats, buffs, visors, GR Sports. Yes, it's the GR Sports bra for men. Really excited. Crop top. The crop tops.
Somebody said earlier they might crop their GR VR jersey.
Go for it. That is a Patagonia shirt, by the way. That is not just anything to like crop top and cut up. If you want to do it,
really want it,
that's fine. I don't think there will be any extras if you need a replacement.
That was also another question. I don't know if I actually pulled it.
Crop tops?
Will there be a chance to buy other GRVR swag? I like the bottle opener, but I didn't want the other stuff.
There will be extras. I have to purchase surplus,
right?
potentially, yeah, just for emergencies. So that once everything is shipped and everyone receives everything, then there may be extras that will be available like after the fact, at which point I may offer them publicly, or I may just create new versions of those that will be more of a permanent staple.
Right.
So yeah, that's to be determined. But that's it. We're gonna wrap up tonight's show. I feel like we can sit and talk forever because we have a dog and beer and
GRVR thong.
Yes. Can't wait. You guys are fantastic. Thank you for sticking around. I hope you guys are looking forward to the socks. I think that might be the first time I've shown them publicly, other than on Patreon
or on your feet
or on my feetsies. I hope you guys think about those between now and December. We're really excited about them. It's been a long time to make those happen. Hopefully all the effort and work will be worth it. And if you have not registered for GRVR, there is still the digital download version. So you can still be eligible for the awards and all of the prizes that we'll have coming. And again, if you are in the Seattle area, I'll see you guys this weekend. That's it for tonight's show. We'll see you guys next Monday. That's it. Gus, any last words? He's ready to go to sleep. Bye, guys.